Ooh, so very, very loud. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm not gonna wait for this song to do a certain cue that I usually wait for because we don't got a lot of time here. People, it's a chat tag. Someone's on the free show. Oh, I hear a little bling, bling, bling. What the hell is that blingy bling? Was somebody hosting me or something? I don't know about the chat.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
People, was Max, thank you for the like, man. Thank you for any kind of likes, shares, or anything you guys do with our Facebook streams as well as our Twitter, not Twitter, our Twitch, our YouTube. Fuck yeah, I'll do Twitter one of these days. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. Jesus.
Live stream on Twitter.
Can you do live stream on Twitter?
No, I don't think so.
You know, that's them fucking up, by the way. They should be able to have you do that because everyone's doing it.
We don't need another platform where you got a live stream. You already got Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. What else?
Yeah, man. And you know what's funny too is like Instagram, as well as that being like a big thing for people going there and they're like showcasing like, you know, modeling or fucking clothes or whatever. It's like, what's a good topic to even do on an Instagram live thing? Would I just go on there and just like change my clothes in front of the camera? Like, I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah. And people get paid for it. Yeah, I think. I don't know, actually, but
yeah, I'm actually surprised you haven't done something with that. Like, how have you not done the Instagram thing?
Well, I have an Instagram, but like I barely post. I'm honestly like really bad with taking pictures, just in general. Like, I don't really like. I have to force myself to remember to take some pictures. I'm like, because I'm like gonna look back when I'm older, and if I like have a kid or something, I'd be like, oh, how were you like when you were younger, Ma? And then it'll be like, I only have like 5 photos for my whole entire existence.
Dude, I was thinking about that too. There's a whole entire bit of my life that's just gone, just lost within the fucking air because I've never taken a picture and taken a video. There's a whole period of my life that I'm just non-existent, and it's like, wow, I probably should have took at least a couple of pictures. I don't know.
I know. Yeah.
Jesus, but no. And you know another thing I'm worried about too, though, or I'm not worried about, but like if I was a chick, I'd be worried about. It's like, imagine going back during this age where everyone's like barely clothed and shit. Imagine being an old lady with your grandkid, like, hey, how are you back in your day? It's like, I was a thought. And just like show a picture of my ass like on the sink and shit. Like, I don't know. That would be a really weird discussion to have.
Oh, seriously. I don't know if like your kids will or your grandkids will be like, oh yes, queen, yes, honey, go, or they'll be like, oh god, I'm just disturbed.
Yeah. Mauricio saying, Nick, your Instagram came to my suggested profile to follow people, and it's just your cartoon. You know, dude, I made an Instagram because I was gonna start taking pictures, and then my phone fucked up, and then I like looked at my face, and then I was like, man, why would I ever take a picture? And the whole thing, it was like a big fucking emotional problem there. But it's there for a reason. I will eventually take pictures, maybe not of me, but maybe like of nature. You know, just nature, just trees.
I mean, you could. Yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of accounts do that. You don't have to necessarily take a picture of your face.
Yeah, maybe it could be of my cat. You know what I mean? And I'll just nickname it like Nick's Pussy, you know, and just everything's about my cat.
That sounds so wrong.
No, but yeah, there's lots of things to take pictures of. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'll have a wholesome fucking, I don't know, nature Instagram, you know. Ryan saying I'll be an Instagram model. I don't think so. I'm not even a role model. Definitely not Instagram model. Marisa saying, did you endure all of Capone? Oh, yes. Last Sunday after hours, we watched Capone and we watched Scoob. Again for the second time, but it was
still a bad movie.
It's a great movie. You're just a hater.
Which movie is bad?
Go ahead and explain to the people what that last part, what that last part was. Did it make any sense to you?
Hey, it's a kids movie. It doesn't have to make sense.
But no, if it's a kids movie, then I don't know what kids movies talk about Tinder and drugs.
A lot of them do.
Like
Pixar does it all the time. Matter of fact, in The Good Dinosaur, there's a scene where the character gets drunk.
You're gonna name the most forgettable Pixar movie as your defense?
Yeah, because it's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie. It's a kid, so kids don't.
Well, even in the original Toy Stories, Buzz Lightyear pretends to be drunk and get loaded off a tea. Like they do that all the time.
At least that plot wasn't convoluted and could be easily understood.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, Max saying Jet didn't like Scoob. That must mean it's good. Man, everyone says that about things. Like,
Jet doesn't like. Why don't you grow taller and basically say that to my face?
Damn.
Hey, once I give him a little bit of this brave liquor, he'll be fine. He'll get up there.
No, I'm actually really surprised though because with Max, because you always say that about me, Max, but I'm looking over here and last night, dude, we had 13 to 17 people just talk shit.
Yeah, I wasn't the only person that didn't like that piece of shit, that convoluted, trash ass piece of shit. And you know what? I take back what I said yesterday about it being okay. I actually do kind of like it to where that second viewing was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was agreeing, so I mean that's one thing. But really, what the hell, E-Man? Want to become famous by followers? What? Flynn, want to become? Man, who sent me fucking bots? What the shit is
it's
this?
time.
Because Alan's not here, people want to basically buck up and shit. Like, I'm not as bad as fucking Alan, okay? I will talk back to your ass. Don't start with me.
Where's this coming from though? Is this Facebook? The fucking these people coming over here? Cause like I don't want no fucking bots on my shit. Let me see really quick. Sorry, people. Like once again, I'm being the most unprofessional.
Oh no, I'm
person
signing
in
up to AdView real quick. We're trying to get these views up.
No, I don't want to buy
Oh,
nothing.
we want to be famous? I'm putting my credit card right now.
Hot chicks at hotchicks.com.
I'll go there.
By the way, I'm curious. You guys like females? You guys ever get that like advertisements for that shit? Like, hey, you want to see my naked webcam? You guys can click on this.
Famous? I'm putting my
I
credit
mean,
card right
those
now.
ads aren't strictly for guys. I'm pretty sure girls click on them too.
Yeah, it's fucking strange. I don't know, but anyways, that thing's still there. I don't know why. So, anyways, it is what it is.
Hey, just count it.
Also, I want to go back to that. Jet didn't like Scoob. Must be good. Does that imply you didn't see it and yet you're basically trying to talk to me some certain way? Did you see it?
Yeah, by the way, did you see it, Max? I actually am curious what you thought. Not to talk shit to you.
It must be good. Like, motherfucker, did you see it?
Here's the thing.
Y'all gotta get off your fucking nostalgia bonus for fucking Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo has not always been that goddamn good. Most of you guys just want to fuck Velma and Daphne. Can't even basically pick out most of the shit that actually even happened in Scooby-Doo. All the fucking literally, like, all the fucking different versions of it.
Oh,
I
Like,
can, but I'm also a fan of Scooby-Doo.
Y'all do not care that much about fucking Scooby-Doo. And also, if you guys actually gave a shit about Hanna-Barbera that much, how come you guys are letting them basically recreate Scooby-Doo over and over again when they got hundreds of different fucking characters and shit that they actually could be making fucking series off of?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think Velma's necessarily nice to think, but he said too that it's average. It's like, well, dude, why'd you say it's good if you say it's average? Like that's the thing about the community. I think not to talk shit about Toasties, especially because we're on a certain platform, but I just want to say that like I've noticed that about shit where it's like as long as a certain number of people say something is good, everyone just says, well, that's the cool thing to think, so I'll agree with
No,
that.
for animated movies like fucking goddamn Despicable Me and shit for basically looking ugly and basically having stupid jokes. But you guys will praise this piece of shit. This had jokes that were way worse than fucking Despicable Me or Emoji Movie.
I got defense towards my record. I go and review all these dumb kids film movies, and I find them average to like enjoyable. You're also talking to the man who actually sacrificed his time to go see the original, like the new remake of The Grinch, and I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, because like for me, my only thing is like, because I like this movie too, but you people almost make me not like it because the idea of, oh, it's a stupid kids movie. It's like no, because now you're just referring that all kids are stupid. Like they're not. Like look at Spider-Verse.
No, but there are levels. Like we can't like assume like every movie is trying to go.
What age range is this for?
Oh, this age range is definitely for like 8 to maybe 13.
So
See,
8-year-olds to first know who Alexander the Great is and have like.
Yeah, I did. I was. That's what I'm saying. Like
you are a history nerd. Like,
yeah, but like, all right. So what? Are there other kids that are not history nerds? Like, if we want to just
include, in the demographic, most kids 8 to 13 do not know who Alexander the Great is.
But even then, like, all right. So at the same point, like, think of all the other kids' movies. Hell, the Avengers constantly quote shit from like Egypt and great fucking Athens. Hell, the fucking Doctor Strange movie is all about shit from the East. They don't know what the fuck that is. They still go see those movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm sorry, not needing an explanation for everything. Like, kids just will go watch a fucking movie. Like, I think a lot of people are either expecting something of Pixar out of this, or they really wanted their nostalgia boner throughout the whole film. And I really just think it was just trying to be its own thing.
Out of it, they can expect something that's actually decent and well written, that shows that they care. Like nothing in here is basically decently written.
I felt like this was decently written. I felt the same magic when I was watching the Teen Titans Go movie.
Yeah,
that actually had jokes in it, but it was not for me. Like that was fine, and that also had a plot that was easy to follow and actually made sense.
The one thing I'll say, because Mauricio kind of put it down perfect, which, I'm surprised that he's the one that's coming in here with the most perfect way to think about. But, like, yeah, he thinks that, not all kid movies should strive to be deep like Inside Out or Spider-Verse, but it's good to see some kind of, like, to see, because he doesn't, like, completely disagree with either one of y'all. And it's like, that's where I'm at, too, basically. It's like, yeah, this movie is not amazing because of those issues where it's like they don't know their audience. Personally, it's like even when Ganja's talking about, not to shit on you or to challenge you or anything, but like you said, this is a family movie, and then right now she asks you again, like, what's this movie for? 8 to 13. It's like, dude, no, you can't.
Yeah, but you guys are also forgetting Scooby-Doo has been redone constantly. There's always a new iteration, new series, new stuff that are on Cartoon Network. This is not a series that disappears for 5-10 years and they do a reboot for the people to try to reconnect them. Scooby-Doo has been a constant feature of Cartoon Network.
They also did that for like the other, also other characters that were in this movie. Like they could have actually like. Hanna-Barbera literally could have brought back fucking Blue Falcon, fucking Captain Caveman, Snagglepuss, Top Cat, whoever, Huckleberry Finn, Jabberjaw. They could have did that at any moment, but they basically are just like, yeah, they wanted to trick people and say like, yeah, this is a Scooby-Doo movie. This is not no Scooby-Doo movie. You're not gonna get that. They literally could. Their universe building is literally as bad as DC.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but at the same time, and that's where I somewhat agree with Ganja, where I'm just like, listen, like, if this was so bad the entire time, then let's put this in a rating system versus itself. Like, how is this Scooby-Doo in comparison to lots of other Scooby-Doos? And we had a talk outside the show about this, Jet, where it's like, okay, look at 2002 Scooby-Doo live action. Is this even slightly worse than that fucking thing? Not at all. This is way better.
Live action was way better.
No, this is way no.
You need to watch that live action again because I watched it. And you think there's like kids don't understand certain jokes in this one? Fucking the singer Ray appears for no reason.
Yeah,
and they make it a point to like talk to him and shit. And like,
and at least that movie was made for its time. Like, if you went back in time and basically were that age again, you're just like, oh yeah, this was for their time.
And this is gonna be for the kids today. Like, that's what this is gonna be. Their Scooby.
Outdated for like who exactly they made it for. Like Simon Cowell, 8 to 13, knows what American Idol is, and when Simon Cowell was on there, most of the time they're probably gonna be questioning like, who the fuck is that?
They literally have Mr. Bean in the remake. No, I didn't know who the fuck Mr. Bean was at that age.
I did, but I mean, like, one thing I will say too is like, because someone said this in here too. Man, by the way, like, I'm shocked. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but like Austin saying the live action one has such a great twist. Dude, like, how are so many people
I think the plot was just as convoluted as this new one. I'm not going to argue with Jet about Scooby-Doo's convoluted plots in the movies.
Okay, yeah, because like, yeah, I'm shocked that it's even.
It did the same thing. It was like, all right, it's just a regular mystery, and then halfway through, it's like, all right, now Scooby-Doo's the chosen one with a pure heart, so we can defeat these demons.
Which was also made for its time and not had like basically already outdated jokes. Like the thing with the live action one is that their jokes was actually for their time. This one basically had Simon Cowell dabbing, which basically like right now there's so many other dances instead of dabbing, twerking, a plot that made no sense. Like
that's on every day. Win, no matter what.
I think you have to watch.
Real old music too.
Jet, I think you should watch the old 2002 one because I was thinking that at first when I saw it, and then me and Roxy watched it right afterwards. It really is just the same thing. Like at certain points that, like Freddy they run to him and like as part of like the mysterious plot to change the kids, he starts speaking in gangster dialect, and like Scooby-Doo goes, "Oh, just keeping it real, dog." Like
made for its time.
Okay, so at that same point, like in 10 years, I'll just say like this one was made for its time. Like this for these kids.
No, what twerking is already outdated right now, and they're still using it.
I don't know about that. People are still twerking.
Twerking jokes are old as fuck.
I feel like it's outdated because like here's the thing, just in synopsis, you look at fucking the Peanuts movie in 2015, and they did the exact same joke. Not only was it Snoopy and Charlie Brown twerking, but how it had the exact same song, like all I do is win, no matter what, and they did the exact same thing 5 years ago.
Music. Like they used outdated as fuck music. Like the jokes in here were super fucking lazy.
Yeah, but they also used Ray in the first one. Like I get what you're saying, but all these complaints could still be applied to the live action one as well.
Yeah,
live action.
Thank you.
Also, thank you for the follow, sir.
Yeah, really
not being a bot.
Yeah, hopefully you're not a bot. Please don't be a bot. Can you say something in the chat so I know you're not a bot? Please. 'Cause I just want to know that I won. Like, please. But no, it's funny, too, that we're having this big discussion about this and about the quality of it. Yeah, Scoob. And meanwhile, we watched something else that was just as bad. Way worse, actually. Capone. Dude, I thought that this was one of those movies where everyone's just talking about it because it's new and they're talking shit about this fucking thing just because it's trendy. No. This was probably one of the fucking worst movies I've seen in the last, like, 3 years. This is really, really bad. Yeah, man. For one, was there any point at all, Gunter, that you wanted to see this? Because I know that you weren't in the after hours with us, particularly, watching this movie. But were you planning on watching it?
Oh no! All right. So the thing with Capone is the people that were trying to push this movie on me have been always the people that are like really hardcore into like the cinema history of shit, and just really wants to push Oscar bait movies onto me and just like hear me get mad at them or disagree with my opinion. So I kind of avoided this. The biggest thing that I got a question for this movie is there's a meme with Stewie and a filled diaper. Yeah. Why is that a meme connected to the Capone movie?
Because he walks around with a very filled, loaded ass diaper, and twice in the movie he shits himself in bed.
What?
Yeah, one of the times, no, it's not the second time he shits himself. Was not even in bed. He's literally at a fucking meeting at a table, just going like a long fart.
I wish I could say anything about Capone, but I wasn't in there, so I didn't see it. But anyway.
Oh yeah, that fucking joke you messing with this whole goddamn night.
But I'm pretty sure if I did see it, I don't think I'd understand not one word that was spoken in that entire movie.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. By the way, Tom Hardy, you've been fucking up. So really quick, to just kind of go around here. I know you probably didn't watch this either, Allie, but like, what do you feel about Tom Hardy? Because we had a big discussion about like what happened to his fucking career because he's just been making bad decision after bad decision constantly.
I think he's a very talented actor. To be honest, this isn't the first movie though that I haven't really understood what he was saying. Sometimes,
yeah, like Bane, for instance.
Bane, I would say there's Venom. I'm sorry, but like I felt like I couldn't understand some of the things he said. The Revenant, I mean, not all Dunkirk. Well, he wasn't in Dunkirk.
No, but, I thought he was in a plane, right? He was flying around.
Was he? Oh my god, I forgot he was in that movie!
He's the pilot, but he has the most forgettable scene.
Well, all of his dialogue is in that fucking machine, that radio thing. So it's like,
you're right. I totally forgot he was in Dunkirk. Yeah, you can't hear what he's saying either. I could hear the other pilot just fine, but for some reason, every time he was talking, I was like, I have to put my subtitles on.
So, and then you basically already saw Capone.
Yeah, you basically, right?
He's really, it's kind of frustrating because like, he's really good, but like, I don't know what he's doing with his accents. Or what? But like, the only time I could understand what he was saying is probably Inception. Like every single like line that he had, because he had a British like accent. So I know that's his accent. Is he British?
I believe so. I mean, I don't know too much about Tom Hardy. Literally, I'm gonna put this out here, and I wish he was watching right now. But like, the only person that I know, or the only reason why I know about Tom Hardy a lot is because of Adrian, who's a big viewer of ours. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing.
He is British. He is English. He was born in London. So, yeah, that's probably why you can understand what he's saying. Because most of his other movies, I don't think most of his other movies, he does an accent of some sort. Like, it's not his, like, native tongue.
Exactly.
Or, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing about this, too, is, like, it's not just his, like, lack of being able to be heard. It's just, like, the decisions he's making as far as, like, his career in acting. Like, dude, I like Venom because I was in the mood for some dumb shit. The movie was very, very dumb. It was unapologetically dumb. And I feel like it earned my ticket because it just had fun with it. And that's not saying that's a good movie to, like, show your acting chops. The motherfucker's talking to this weird ink-looking fucking squid thing. Oh, I'm one of you, Mr. fucking Tom Hardy. You're a pussy. That whole fucking thing. It's like, that's not really a good way to kind of show, hey, I'm good at acting, guys. But the biggest thing, too, is that, doing something like this, like Capone, like, this movie, the reason why it was so funny when he's literally shitting himself is because the movie is so boring that when you get excited about something actually happening, it has to do with, like, funny shit and just kind of surreal shit. Jet, do you want to do any kind of impersonation as to how this motherfucker sounds in the movie? Because I'm going to try to do it myself, but no one's going to understand what the fuck I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not even trying. All I heard the entire time was...
Oh, that's too normal. That's too normal. It was like...
I mean, I didn't see it, but I'm just guessing.
Yeah, dude. No, he talks like that the entire fucking time. And just weird parts about, like... he's seen someone... I mean, obviously, this is like the last few days of his life that this movie's based on, and he's seen shit, and he's really paranoid, and he keeps going through these illusions and knocking out and blah, blah, blah. And the thing that's kind of annoying to me about this is that I don't know what the fuck's happening. There's scenes in here where he's, like, doing a huge amount of acts of violence, intense, extremely well-shot violence, and then they just retcon it, like, 2 minutes afterwards. And it happens multiple times throughout the movie where I don't know what's true, what's not true. I looked it up, too, online to see, like, okay, I'm going to do a review about this. I can't even review this because I don't know what the fuck the movie was about, and I watched the entire thing. Corey's calling me, so I'll be right back. But Ganja, Jet, Ali, talk to the chat, and I will return in just a few seconds.
Okay. I have no interest in watching this film in the slightest. Like I said, it sounds like very like Hollywood baity, and the fact that Tom Hardy's character cannot have a dialogue without his voice fucking up just kind of shows that he's a kind of dude that likes to do voice or like try to do like personality traits, but it doesn't come off other than Tom Hardy either being awkwardly unsociable like fucking Venom, or in the fucking Dunkirk movie, he's such a British dude that his British dialogue is not intelligible to anybody that understands English.
Exactly. Yeah, and like that's the biggest thing about this too is like.
And what was he trying to do with this accent? Trying to do like a fat Italian?
So the thing that I'm not sure that he has brought this up, but what happened was he was suffering through syphilis, I believe.
Neurosyphilis, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe this movie is taking place as his last year alive. So he's basically like dying, and I guess part of him not being able to be understood was part of like syphilis. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with fucking Capone.
Yeah, he couldn't control his bowels or anything, which was a big thing, and he was losing his mind and seeing shit, as well as like he just couldn't control himself. And I think that was a pretty emotional story. But when you spend like I don't know, about 25 seconds on his gradual shitting of the pants and farting, I'm not really enthused about the story. I'm not feeling emotional. I'm supposed to be emotional. I'm not feeling triumphant. When I'm trying to feel triumphant, it's all just like, what the fuck? I can't wait to show my friends so we can all laugh at this shit together. And I feel like that's not only disrespectful to Al Capone in general, even though we're not supposed to really like try to be respectful to a criminal or whatever, but it's just kind of like, man, like, is this movie supposed to be a comedy? Or is it a surreal comedy? Or is it... what the fuck is this movie? I don't even know what kind of genre to put this fucking thing in. And the fact that Tom Hardy was in here and he could have chose to do. Yeah, that's what it is.
I just called the trailers and this is what I got out of it.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but that's not really a review.
All those whores.
This is definitely not really a review, but I'm just gonna tell you guys really quick. Don't see this movie and look at it as like, oh, like I'm gonna watch like an actual documentary type fucking thing or a big biological resurgence of this Al Capone story. No, you're gonna watch this and you're gonna laugh with your fucking friends and you're all gonna share memes of this dude like taking a shit. This is not something to be taken seriously. And honestly, for a movie that's an hour and 45 minutes long, I don't think it's worth for the little bit of jokes you get in here. Like, okay, I laughed, ha ha ha. I could literally just fast forward to that scene and a fucking.
You laughed like twice, and even the scenes that you actually did laugh at weren't actually scenes you were supposed to laugh at, like him shitting himself.
Yeah. Which
he does like multiple fucking times, or pissing on himself. The movie is actually very boring.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, for you to laugh at those moments, you don't really need the build-up of a movie. You can just like watch that clip and be like,
sounds like they just expect you to either laugh at this man dying, or they did such a horrible job trying to portray his story in such a like either endearing or empathetic light that you no longer care about the movie. You're just fucking bored out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, honestly, it's a huge missteps, and that's the problem. Because I don't feel like this should be a thing with that. Really quick, wait, is Corey trying to call me? Let me see. Hold on a second, because
he just sent you a nude.
Yeah, for some reason he's talking to somebody literally live on the show. Let me see.
Letitia. Shit, are you?
All right, people heard it in the chat. I know you guys didn't hear, but I'm gonna get going. I don't know what's going on, but Corey, something's happening with the fucking stream. So, anyways, so confusing, right? We will. Let me see. I'm gonna turn off the Twitch right now and talk about a couple more things before we get the fuck out of here. But definitely I'm gonna show this page. This is good old Double Toasted doing their thing. He's yelling at the phone. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
He's probably yelling at your voicemail right now.
Answer the phone, Diaz. I'll figure that out in a little bit. But go enjoy them, and we'll talk to you guys next time for the next pre-show. Bye. See ya. Now, with that said, I want to bring something up to you, Mr. Ganja Guru, and the good old Allie up in here. Y'all like your Star Wars?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Now,
Allie, I do.
For some reason, Allie has been trying to push this fucking Clone Wars on people. What is wrong with you, by the way? Why are you doing this?
Yes. Okay. So, I know that the prequels are not the best, people don't like them, although I feel like that kind of has changed a little bit since the sequel trilogy came out. I feel like now people are like, well, maybe the prequels weren't so bad. So,
the first and the third one had a shot of something.
Yes.
That second one is still garbage.
Trash.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
If you try to defend that in front of me, I'm going to say you don't watch it.
Yeah. At least like the first had good elements, like Darth Maul and Harley. Shut up. and everything. But anyway, so I have watched the Clone Wars since, well, not since they first started, because I was definitely like one of those people who's like, oh my god, this animation is atrocious. I love the Gennady Tartakovsky ones. They came out before episode 3 came out, and those were the 2D Clone War shorts that they had. So I was just like, man, what is this 3D animation going to do? Whatever. So then one day, they were like, oh hey, Darth Maul's coming back. And I was like, huh? So I started watching it again, and I was legit like, damn, this is actually really good. So, surprisingly. It gets better a couple of episodes, and they're still kind of trying to find their footing. And I'll say the first couple of seasons, they do this weird thing chronologically. Some of the stories are out of order. I don't know why, but other than that, like, it really gives you much more of a sense of what like the Clone Wars were like, because if you're watching just the live action movies, you see this like kind of beginning of it in episode 2, and then you see the end of it in episode 3, so you don't really get that in between. And this gives you a really good idea, and it really humanizes the clone troopers. They all have their unique personalities. Even like they changed, of course they still have the same face because they're all clones, but they really change a lot of their like physical appearances based on their personalities. But you really grow to really like these troopers, and they have some that are like throughout the whole entire show, and they actually do show like Commander Cody. He's like a really prominent character in the Clone Wars. Like, he's actually in the live action. But either way, like, it really kind of, it also gives you more development of like Anakin Skywalker, and he actually in the show is so much more likable, and he's not a whining little twerp like he is in the live action movies. And nothing on part of Hayden Christensen. I think he didn't have a lot to work with, but they got a guy who sounds completely different from Hayden Christensen in terms of his voice, but he's really charismatic. You can see why he was considered a really great general. And really, like, he's actually like a really great war hero and like strategic person. But it really, like, it shows you more of the lore of the overall universe as well. There's like a lot more of a spiritual aspect that I think that was kind of shown a little bit in the original trilogy, and it was kind of, midichlorians and stuff was introduced in the prequels, and people didn't really like that. So it has much more of a mystical aspect to the universe as well, which is really interesting. But it just gives you so much more, I think, impact when like Order 66 happens, because you actually get to know a lot of the Jedi Masters, and the clone troopers really did like the Jedi, the people they served with, and they really considered them like family. So when that order happens, it's even more heartbreaking. But ultimately, it introduces, I think, one of the best characters in Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano.
Tano, yeah, because that name doesn't really sound too familiar.
She was basically George Lucas's way to try to get younger girls into the franchise.
Sort of, she started off as that, and people didn't like her at first, like when
but it was mostly incel reasons.
Yeah, but as the show goes on, she really grows. She's Anakin's apprentice, by the way. So, of course, she's not mentioned in the live action stuff.
Yeah, because I'm wondering too, like, does he do his like weird, like, I'm gonna make you evil, or you're gonna join the dark side shit? Like,
no, and actually, a lot of people complain, like in episode 3, wow, that was like so sudden. He just turned to the dark side. Well, like in the Clone Wars, it really shows, like, even though he's a good person and he, cares so much about his men and of course the people that are close to him, but if anything happened to one of them, he would go off. Like, he became very, very scary and very violent. If any of the people he cared about was like in a kidnapped, hurt, so when you kind of see the Clone Wars and you see all of his outbursts, which he always does a good thing in the end, but when you see like those really like dark side part of him, you understand more. Okay, this is not so sudden that he's turning to the dark side in the movie. And I know it's like it kind of sucks that you have to watch like external stuff to really get a full view of the story, but this one really is I think it's worth watching. And there are a lot of lists out there on the internet that you don't have to watch the whole entire episode by episode. There are a lot of filler. I think it kind of adds a little, because like some of the main side characters kind of do come back down the road. So I think it's worth watching at least the first time all the way through. But if you kind of want to just watch the essential episodes that are really important, there are a lot of lists out there. Of course, it shows Darth Maul coming back. The Mandalore storyline, Mandalorians, I think are some of the best, and I definitely think you should watch those, because of course, if you're into the Mandalorian, they do reference a lot of stuff from the Clone Wars that seep into the Mandalorian. And Nick, you told me Ahsoka was going to be in season 2 of the Mandalorian, which I was like, oh, I didn't even know that, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, they just released season 7, the final season of the Clone Wars, because when it originally aired, they kind of canceled it after Disney took over Lucasfilm, and they released the last season 6 on Netflix. But that it ended they thought it kind of was going to end there, but then of course they got picked up again. So they released, a total of 12 episodes? Yeah, 12 episodes. And they're broken up into 3 different story arcs. So the first 4 are with the clone troopers, and there's these group of kind of a bad batch that they call them. That's what they call the story arc. And it's these clone troopers that kind of have, I wouldn't say deformities or anything like that, but they're not like the rest of the troopers, but they're very skilled in all of their what they do. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the action story arc that you have. And then the second story arc is Ahsoka. So a little bit of spoilers if you care about the Clone Wars, but basically it left off with Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order. So she's not a Jedi. And if you watched Rebels, she doesn't identify herself as a Jedi. So she's not a Sith or anything like that, but she's kind of right in the middle, like a gray Jedi. So she left the Order. So it kind of picks up where she's been since she left the Jedi Order. And I'll say that storyline, it's kind of cute at first. It kind of shows she meets these sisters, and she kind of helps them with this mission. They're kind of smuggling some spice or whatever, and they kind of showed that they're, I know, not that's what they call smuggling drugs, sort of in the universe. But it's really not that interesting of a story. The only thing interesting is really Ahsoka. There was an interesting aspect where they kind of showed that they don't really like the Jedi, because there was a point where there was just they were trying to capture a prisoner, the Jedi, and because of that, they actually made a lot of destruction around them in the city, and they were affected. Their parents were actually killed because of it, and then a Jedi was just well, I had to do what I had to do, so bye. And they're we hate Jedi because of that. And I was okay, that's kind of interesting seeing a different perspective, because you really only see that main story. It's kind of almost like Civil War, Captain America Civil War, or Batman v Superman if it was good, it, showing a different part and the repercussions of their actions. But honestly, where it really gets going is episodes 9 through 12. Now those are the ones that you really could skip the first 2 and you could just go right to that, because that one is the one where it shows actually in Revenge of the Sith. So it shows where Ahsoka was when Revenge of the Sith happened, and how it was when Order 66 happened and she happened to be involved in it. Because I don't want to give too much away, because I really think it's worth your time. Even if you don't really watch the rest of Clone Wars, I would suggest it just because so you know a little bit more about the character. But man, when I say it just completely took a 360 turn in terms of the quality. The other episodes were fine. The animation is definitely more improved, and the acting on the characters' faces is so much more fluid and actually better than they are in the live action in terms of the actor's ability. But this one, overall, just the feel of it, the pacing of it, the music, the action. They actually got Ray Park to come back as Darth Maul in motion capture. Yeah, so it's still Sam Witwer that's voice acting as Darth Maul, but they actually did motion capture for the fight sequences, And Ray Park was actually involved in the choreography, and they actually like recorded him fighting alongside the person who was like the double for Ahsoka. And then they actually implemented that into the animation. So it was taken right from all of the stuff that they choreographed and put into the show. It was freaking amazing. Because I was just noticing throughout the whole entire rest of the whole entire show, I was like, oh, this is kind of stiff. Stiff animation, kind of the typical TV show animation. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, hold up. This just became like realistic. So I was like kind of wondering, and then I saw behind the scenes. I was like, that's kind of really cool.
Yeah.
But
especially having Ray Park, right? Because like they know exactly like this dude is loved by people even that don't like the prequels, because like he's the only thing that's actually redeemable about any of that bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah, he did a really amazing job. But like towards the end, it is just really kind of devastating because like, she goes to basically like track down Maul. And so she goes with a bunch of troopers that she's fought with throughout the whole entire war, and they really respect her, and they even like dedicate and change their armor to kind of be like, this is like Ahsoka's team now. And when it comes down to like Order 66, when that happens, it's so tragic and so sad. From then on, it just really pulls at your heartstrings, and by the end, it's really like a sad ending. It's really a ominous ending. But it's really well executed. And honestly, I wasn't really like The Mandalorian. Definitely, I actually watched it again. I got my mom into it. So I watched it with her. That actually gave me more of like, okay, there's something good here that Disney's putting out for Star Wars. But like when I saw the Clone Wars, like those last couple of episodes, I was like, that just completely put my faith back into the whole series. Like there are still really great creative people that are behind these that could create really amazing things. So that really gave me hope for a whole entire franchise, because I was really losing it after I saw Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and then after Last Jedi, it's just like there's been lots of. Yeah, I mean, every Star Wars fan is actually having the same mindset of just like, dude, I'm kind of getting tired of this shit. I can't fucking sit here and watch any of this anymore.
Exactly. It kind of made me sad that like that's the last season, but it really was a great way to end. And genuinely, I know that like people aren't the most like ecstatic about the prequels and maybe the animation and the style of it, but I think really first of all, the acting's great. The writing, everything like that really overcomes all of that. So I think you won't notice that. Like the animation really takes a back turn, which I think actually in points it looks really interesting, and it kind of looks like if you pause at any moment, you can kind of hang like that the way it looks like as a picture frame or something, because it kind of reminds me of like a painting in a way.
Yeah,
but
like Blade Runner 2049, where it's like you can pause at any frame and it looks like a big old picture.
Exactly. So like I really like, I can't talk about this with anyone because no one's seen it. And I'm just like, you guys are sleeping on this. I'm telling you, it's so good. Like it gets so dark. I'm not saying everything dark is good, but this is like, it's a kid's show, and they're showing like people getting chopped, and you see like the severed arm or something, or you see like someone getting shot, suffocated, like people die, and you see it. It's not like they cut away. Like you see them, like you see it.
Yeah, the reason why I even wanted to bring this up too in the first place, because like for one, I was shocked why, like, okay, why is she always making people want to watch this thing? But at the same time, it's like as you're talking about it, I'm like, well, you kind of want this thing that I feel like is going to happen a lot when our boy Danny Trejo comes involved in this, because you're talking about like Mandalorian, how you actually watched it twice and actually try to show your mom, and this dude, they actually want him to start writing for the Mandalorian. And I'm like, everything you're saying about, Asuka, and I think I said her name right, but everybody from the Clone Wars. Wait, I didn't say it right?
Ahsoka. But you almost got it, though.
Damn it! No, but like, I feel like if this dude kind of brought some of the Clone Wars stuff, or just not any of the storyline, obviously, because it comes, it takes place so far away from this time, but it's like, yeah, like this dude could be the guy who brings all that type of action and all that kind of seriousness into this, because everything that Danny Trejo has actually been involved with and had any kind of creative input in has been like some crazy ass shit. I mean, come on, Machete. Like this guy is known for chopping people up and burning people up and shooting people. Like, I mean, is this something that kind of makes you have faith in whatever they're gonna do with the Mandalorian moving forward, or like, what do you feel about Danny Trejo having anything to be part of this, Allie?
So I'll be honest, like I only know him as an actor. I don't know in terms of like if he's done anything creative in terms of writing or directing. So I can't speak too much towards that. So far, I mean, what I've seen with The Mandalorian, I've really liked. I think it has some improvement that needs to be done, but it's a really good, like, it has a really good foundation. Actually, the showrunner or like the supervising director, sort of like from the Clone Wars, is actually involved in The Mandalorian. So that's why I think it might be really good. Also, Jon Favreau was heavily involved in it. That, you know, of course, directed Iron Man. And not a lot of people like the Lion King remake, but the Jungle Book was good.
Well, Jon Favreau's done some good shit. Like I'll give him love. Yeah. I mean, you know.
No, he's good. He's a good director. Like, if you guys haven't seen Chef, that's a really good small movie he did. But yeah, like, hey, I'm willing to say, like, I think that, like, they kind of shied away from showing killing in The Mandalorian. I thought, like, well, the Clone Wars is actually more violent, and it's a cartoon than The Mandalorian was, because I thought, like, at one part where, like, one of the episodes where he where Mando goes in with, like, these other dudes to, like, break out this person in this prison.
Oh, my boy Bill Burr was with him.
Yeah, and when he pulls, like, one of the guys through one of the doors, and then you see kind of like it cuts, but you see kind of like his head is in between the door. And then it cuts, and I'm like, oh, shit, he just took off his head. And then afterwards you see, oh, no, they just put him in a prison cell. He's still alive. He was just knocked out. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you that I wish I would have seen something, but then I'm thinking, like, well, you know what, though? Those characters are so cool. I don't want them to die. I want to see more episodes with them. Because that would be kind of cool.
I guess. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the characters. I thought, like, the Twi'lek was kind of weird. She was just doing weird stuff with her teeth and stuff. Yeah. The devil dude, yeah, I guess so. But I was just like, man, like, you think he's kill someone, and then it's like, no, he just knocked them out, or he just stunned them. You know, it's fine. He doesn't kill. He's not a murderer. And I'm like, damn, but he's a Mandalorian. Like, that's kind of what they do a lot of times. Like, I mean, they're not ruthless about it, but they're warriors. So, but either way, I still really enjoyed the show. So I'm really excited that, like, Ahsoka's going to be in it. And if Danny Trejo's going to be in it, I think that'll be really cool. But anyway, bottom line is, y'all need to watch the Clone Wars, because first of all, it'll show you more about Mandalorians. And then second of all, Ahsoka's in it. And it's just really good. It's actually one of the best things about anything about the prequels. So just get the list of stuff that's, like, the most important episodes to watch. Sit down and watch it. Watch the season 7, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, where was I? Where have I been? Why was this?" Because, like, now I consider that part. If I wanted to ever do a marathon of Star Wars, that's, like, part of my roster now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go through episode 1, episode 2, okay, Clone Wars, and then episode 3 and onwards. I think it's, like, a really great, like, addition to the universe. So, you know, y'all need to get on it.
Before we get out of here, too, like, I did want to get your opinion, Gandra, about the whole, like, Machete being part of this fucking thing, too, because, like, you know, I know you're not a huge follower of Daniel Trejo. I think, like, when you see him, you're like, oh, shit, him. Like, I know him. He's fucking crazy. I mean, does this make you have any more faith being put into the franchise, making it be more intense, like what Ali's saying about Clone Wars? Do you feel like...
I can't really give you too much of an opinion, mostly because I still have to watch the Mandalorian series, so I can't really go in hard and be like, oh, this is a fucking stupid-ass shit. This is just more of that dumb Disney shit. But... like I said, I got no real opinion. I haven't seen it yet. So, like, once I actually check out the series, I can give you a full description on what that looks like. But honestly, at the moment, I have nothing.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I see that. I mean, my whole thing is just like, I really do hope that someone, I mean, not even if it's not Danny Trejo, I just want somebody to come into the Star Wars universe and say, listen, I'm going to pull you out of your fucking nice, safe little mattress of a universe.
Oscar Isaac was supposed to be that. He just really became Han Solo Part 2.
Well, the thing is, I think that they're having Danny Trejo come in to do writing versus acting. Because, like, you know, if you put somebody in here and put their stupid little mask on, that stupid little lightsaber, it's going to be Star Wars-y shit. But, like, I want someone to go in with the pen, man. Like, that fucking pen, pencil, whatever, that writes the script to this shit, that's what's going to save this franchise. And, you know, I like Oscar Isaac, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's pretty. They're going to put him in this fucking thing. He's just going to say yes to the check. Like, I don't know.
Wait, Oscar Isaac is actually going to be in this?
No.
The Mandalorian?
Just in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Force Awakens stuff, yeah.
He was so... Why? Like, why was he in
Well, I liked them, but at the same time, it's like they just kind of they don't use people correctly. Like I like the girl who plays Rey. She was awesome. I like John Boyega, but it's like after one movie, after Force Awakens, they didn't use him right. It's like, you know, you can put anyone that's great in there. Like Bill Burr is not a great actor. He's actually a terrible actor. But the fact that Jon Favreau is such a good writer, and they dude, especially with Carl Weathers. Like I love Carl Weathers. He's great. Like Mandalorian has just put so much faith back into something like this for me, and I'm glad. I'm glad I'm on the ride. You know what I mean? Like let's do this shit. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But with that said, though, guys, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. We've been on here for quite a bit. I really appreciate you all hanging out with us, though. And Gandra, why don't you tell people what to look forward to on your particular platforms?
Well, you guys can check us out at the Illuminati Podcast on the Metropolis Collective on Facebook, where me and the old co-host Birdman and the great Rufus Wonder break down politics, cultural stuff, do all kinds of crazy shit when it comes to conversating about politics and calling out people that need to be called out. So, with that said, make sure to go check out the Metropolis Collective, where you can find the Illuminati Show as well as many others.
Yeah. By the way, people, with the fighting on politics, I'm not saying this to Gandra or Ruthless or Alan, but those of you that don't have a podcast, you talk about politics. Can y'all not go on there and fight for 78 fucking chat comments talking about, like, I'm going to debate you on a live show. Oh, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I'm not sensitive, but fuck you. But you're all sensitive. You're all sensitive. You're all equal of a bitch. Stop. No matter how much you fight and fucking, you know, insult people's, like, actual who they are, you're not going to win the fucking political battle. You're all fucking losers. So, yeah, take care with that shit. We're getting the fuck out of here. Goodbye. I apologize to no one. Jesus, 78 pages.
We need 30 more.
Good God. Fuck it, Christian, it's you. Why'd you do that? God.
Start the Zoom call, Nick.
You're an adult. You're a fucking adult.